Dino freaking Rossi.
That would be me.
I was like, we promised special guests, and then I see Dino with this. I didn't even recognize you with the, what is this?
Oh, I'm
Scruff?
incognito.
Incognito. It didn't
Yeah,
work.
with $40 million to your face on TV,
Oh.
I got recognized on a cruise ship in the middle of the Mediterranean. I said,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sure they heard all sorts of bad things about you.
Oh, actually, I was at DSW, you know, the shoe store.
Yeah.
I was in line, and this lady behind me, this was with the beard, and she says, "Boy, you look really familiar." I went, I didn't say anything, and she goes, "No, you look really familiar." I didn't say anything, and finally, so I pulled up on my phone one of the pictures without a beard, and I went, "Do I look like this guy?" And she goes, "Oh God, no." She said, "No, you look like Roy Scheider
Oh,
from
my
Jaws."
God.
I
That
said,
is-
"Yes, ma'am."
Oh, God.
Roy
no.
Scheider standing in line with you at the DSW shoe store with a coupon in his hand nonetheless.
Yeah, that's funny. Whenever I'm in Seattle, it's like, you Brandi Kruse? I'm like, no.
No, exactly, yeah.
Not me. I don't know who that is. So, gosh, you're here. Are you planning on getting into political life? I haven't seen much of you since 2018.
No, I just help candidates I like.
Yeah.
And
Who do you like this time around? And we're taping this before the first ballot drop, so we don't know what the results are going to be.
yeah, so I've been helping Kelly Chambers, running for Pierce County Executive, helping Michael Baumgartner over in Eastern Washington. And I served with him in the Senate when I was reappointed in 2017. He was definitely one of the smartest guys in the caucus. As a buddy of mine from Boston would say, he's wicked smart.
Wicked.
And so I've been helping candidates that I like, and that's why I've been just here and there, just picking candidates that I can help raise money for, go speak at their events,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, and this will be, I mean, a predictor, because by the time we air this, we'll know. But what do you think about the governor's race?
I think Dave has a chance. I think one thing I've sensed is that there just hasn't been a lot of energy on the Democrat side. There just really hasn't been. I mean, like even in my neighborhood, which would normally have a lot of Kamala signs, like nobody seems to be energized on that side. And
She's
so
not a very energizing candidate.
she hasn't inspired many people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so I think so that could lend itself. And I talked to Kelly Chambers earlier today in Pierce County, and she said the turnout's low on both sides, but it's a little higher on Republican than it is Democrat. If that translates across the state, Dave's got a shot.
I think that they've stopped being so opposed to early voting. They're like, this is the system that we have. We need to use it. I will say that when it comes to, I have to bring it up, when it comes to mail-in voting and the desire from a lot of Republicans to return to in-person voting, every time they bring up 2004, every single time they bring up the governor's race as a reason that they don't trust mail-in voting. Do you think that's still a valid reason for Republicans not to trust it?
There is an issue with that, honestly. In my governor's race, King County had 3,600 votes that they had set aside. This isn't a race that was 129 votes in the end. They had 3,600 votes that they knew were not legitimate ballots, that were absentees. And someone on high separated them from the envelope, and you can't tell your ballot from mine. So when people say that we need a cheat-proof majority of votes, that's what they mean. They also counted 1,900 more ballots than they actually had people who voted. They signed in to vote. And with felons and dead people and the like. So that all counts. You'd have to have a bigger margin, because in the city, in the city, the Democrat strongholds, if it's close, they're going to figure out how to make it happen. Even the canvassing board.
that?
Oh, of course,
Okay.
I watched it. It happened to me. And
But 20 years ago.
nothing's changed. The canvassing board is now 3 Democrats. When they have a ballot that's in question, they'll look at it and they'll vote on whether it's a legitimate ballot. It was 2 to 1 when I ran, and pretty much everyone that looked like it was a Republican one got thrown out. And so these are things. That's why you can't have it be close.
Yep.
And so that's the reality of it.
Too big to rig.
And I don't know. Our polling does indicate that dead people prefer mail-in ballots.
Well, dead people also prefer governor, or not governor, oh my gosh, Attorney General Bob Ferguson's chicken checks.
Yes.
Yeah, he sent quite a few of those to
I
deceased
know.
people. In fact, Nicole's Halloween costume over here was brilliant. It was a dead person who received a chicken check from Bob Ferguson. It was the best Halloween costume ever. Let me end with this. Since, definitely, the races that you run, Republicans have done worse. They've lost seats in the House, they've lost seats in the Senate. Democrats are dangerously close to supermajorities. They have no more statewide elected seats on the entire West Coast, not just here. What will tell you at the end of this, when the results are certified, whether the Washington State Republican Party is still a viable party in our state?
Well, I mean, the reality is that the Washington State Republican Party doesn't have a lot of money to do the things that, and the Democrats have unlimited money essentially when you go up against them. I mean, I was outspent in every race I ever had.
Yeah.
Ever. Even my state Senate races, I was outspent.
Yeah.
So, you just have to, do it a different way. And honestly, the opportunities with social media and other avenues make it affordable to contact people, and that's moving in that direction. And so it's not just the big TV stations where it costs you $700,000 to get 1,000 points to move any numbers, right? And when you're a candidate statewide, you have to do it in Seattle, and you have to spend that money in Portland when only 16% of the people can actually vote for you.
Yeah, Portland DMA, 100%.
Right, and Eastern
expensive.
Washington's cheap. You can do it. That's not hard to do. And so it's very expensive to do it through television.
Yep.
But there are a lot of avenues now where I think people are kind of giving up on trusting the mainstream media for their information. And slowly that's changing.
Yeah.
And the younger people definitely aren't buying it anymore either, which is good. So that opens up all sorts of avenues. I think
like this avenue.
Like this avenue.
Yes.
But also I got elected to the Senate when I was like 36, 37 years old. And so I've seen a lot of things over time. And, City of Seattle used to be all Republican. Now, Dan Evans came from there. Ken Eikenberry came from there. Joel Pritchard came from there. These are people that used to be lieutenant governors, congressmen, attorney generals, and governors. And then East King County used to be all Democrat. Then it went all Republican. Now it's all Democrat again. Eastern Washington is all Democrat. So the reality is, over time, these things change. And, because people, and you're seeing kind of a shift that's happening around the country right now. And I think the Trump phenomena of reaching out to various groups is going to make a difference. It's going to build a very different coalition for the Republican Party. And some of them might not call themselves Republican, but they're voting Republican.
Yeah, that's me this time. There's only a few Democrats I voted for. So Dino Rossi, I know you're heading to the Hyatt, which is why we pre-tape. It is so nice to see you.
It's great to see you
look
as well.
Great. You don't age.
Life's good, very blessed.
Good. So you can enjoy. You're down in Costa Rica a lot, so you're doing your thing. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.